Welcome to the AT&T Girl League recap show with your host, Jordan Carothers.
Hello, welcome to the Week 7 recap of the AT&T Girl Fantasy Football League. My name is Mr. Jordan Carothers. Mr. I lost this week, but I'm still in first place. Good to see you boys. Now, I gotta be honest, I have virtually no time to edit things at all this week, so I'm gonna keep this one pretty simple. Not gonna have the extra segment. We're just gonna get right into the recaps for this week and next week, and we're gonna do the standings and all that fun stuff, so let's get right on into it.
Football!
I'm over here now. So anyway, we're going to get to our first matchup from Week 7, which, of course, as always, is my own matchup. And the winning streak is over, my friends. Mr. Deshaun, don't touchdown there. Jake Mowry, he came back and put the whooping on me a little bit. I mean, not like a big whooping, but, still whooping all the same. He was talking smack at my party, man. He was talking smack after his two running backs popped off on Thursday night, but it's okay. I was projected to beat him all day, and then he came back at the end. It is what it is, right? I knew it was going to pretty much come down to Madison versus Addison for the Vikings on Monday night. Bynum, my safety, I kind of just assumed he'd get his average of about 11, 12 points or so, and then that would pretty much make it dead even between then come down to Addison and Madison. And we know who won that one. Jordan Addison with 7 catches, 2 touchdowns, 123 yards, and Madison losing his job to Cam Akers at this point is what it looks like. But on my side, Tyreek Hill was still himself. Puka Nacua back again with another big game. Kind of took over for Cooper Kupp this week, who is also on my roster and only had 2 catches. When's the last time you've seen Cooper Kupp have only 2 catches? Running backs, Jonathan Taylor was great. Mark Andrews on National Tight End Day, he did his damn thing. And Cortland Sutton, pretty impressive this year. Kind of having the year I thought he was going to have last year now, but, let's ride. On Jake's side, his quarterbacks were terrible, only 10 points each. But as we said, Jordan Addison was there to save the day. Amon-Ra was there to save the day with just pure garbage time catches. That was beautiful for his team. Etienne and Kamara both had big games on Thursday night. And Travis Kelce, whoo boy, that Taylor Swift effect was in full force. His lucky charm, as he says. I don't know. Travis Kelce likes to bang sixes, apparently. But 179 yards, 12 catches, and a touchdown for Kelce. Good luck finding a tight end who's going to do that after he retires. On to the next matchup, that is Tuafinity and beyond. Ryan Murphy taking down our last place man, Mr. Discount Double Check Downs, Derek Vaughn. 258 to 216. On Murphy's side, he had a rare bad game from Tua. It happens. His team's namesake sometimes doesn't always come through. But A.J. Brown, I believe he is now, if I heard correctly, like maybe 5 or 6 games straight of over 125 receiving yards. And that, my friends, is incredible. Michael Pittman somehow getting almost 20 points on 2 catches is also incredible. His boy is running back Jerome Ford. Of course, he is the Browns fan for some reason. Had a good day before he got hurt. Jahmyr Gibbs was finally a number 12 overall pick with almost 28 points, and Darren Waller had a big day at tight end for DV. Jalen Hurts was great. Jalen Hurts is off and great. The rest of his team was, McCaffrey is, we're talking about streaks here like we did on the other team. McCaffrey is now, I believe, 16 straight games with a touchdown, and that is just mind-blowing. I don't even know. Did LaDainian Tomlinson do that back in the day when he broke the record? I don't know. Other than that, I've never heard of that many games straight with a touchdown. That's insane. Colt Kmet, after I talked him up as the pickup of the week for DV, 0 points, goose egg, not even targeted by what's his name, Bijan or something, their little rookie undrafted guy. Besides for that, really nothing special on DV's team. A few single-digit guys and no one really popping. Next matchup, whoo boy, Derek came back with a force after he was on last week. It's like the opposite of the Madden curse. You're on the recap show, suddenly your team doesn't suck. 264 points, beating I'm 12, and what is this? Scott, 148.45. That, my friends, is a whooping. Oh boy, on easy Breecey's side, Derek. His quarterbacks, man, that's the only thing keeping him afloat at all. He has 3 wins. He's doing okay. Mahomes had almost 50 points, 46.86, and Josh Allen 30 for himself. After that, nobody was crazy outside of maybe Gus Edwards, but that was pretty much just on the back of an 80-yard catch, which I don't think you're ever going to see Gus Edwards do that again. But pretty much everybody else was just, they were in the teens. They were okay. Scott's side, I'm thinking he must have not been checking on DK Metcalf because he played him and he was rolled out. Wow, a lot of single-digit guys. Oh my God. Wanda Robinson, Jerick McKinnon, Royce Freeman. That was a desperation play. Tyler Higbee, Justin Tucker, his defense. Aaron Donald, you expect your defensive lineman to get single-digit points. But obviously DK was 0. Wow, Austin Eckler, man. 5.6. I don't think he's right. That's just me. I don't think that ankle's right. He's going to keep on playing on it, I'm sure, but I don't know. Only 5.6 points. That's not very Austin Eckler-like. That's not very awesome excellent to me. Next matchup, Cousins Digg my Chubb. Cordell had a nice 5-2 record, taking down Bijan Mostert. That is Josh, who he's on a bit of a slide here, isn't he? What's his streak? He has no, he won the week before, so his streak's only one game loss, but 4-3 wasn't that long ago. He was in first place, so you better pay attention because it looks like he played some guys in his roster that might not have played as well. Zay Jones was 0 points. I don't think he played, but I'm not 100% sure. Either he just goosed or he didn't play. For him though, he had Deonta Foreman was great. I mean, 3 touchdowns, that will get you 33 points. I mean, with some yards, added in. But Lamar Jackson was the only really other big standout. Okay, Mike Evans. Mike Evans had a good day, but Lamar Jackson was the big standout for Josh with 4 total touchdowns, 357 yards. Not bad for a running back, as he fucking egghead-looking motherfucker says. On to Cordell's team, Kirk Cousins, 29 points. Actually had a good game on a primetime game. What do you know? 378 yards. Look at this man go. Did you guys see him on that quarterbacks documentary? He is the biggest fucking nerd I've ever seen in my life. Who else did Cordell have? He had 23 points from Christian Kirk, the real number 1 wide receiver for the Jaguars, apparently. 18 points from his defense. That's always lovely. Oh, he only... Look at that. I just said it, right? Calvin Ridley, the number 2 wide receiver for Jacksonville at this point. 1.5 points. Not going to get it done. Nothing too crazy to point out in this game besides for Lamar. Moving on to next week's matchups.
Football!
For the first matchup, we have the Mauve Avenger, Mr. Jordan Carothers at 5-2, taking on Tuafinity and the Beyond, Mr. Ryan Murphy at 4-3. Projection currently has Murphy to win 217 to 203. And I'm looking through here. So one thing that's kind of skewing this projection here. So I added the Rams' new kicker since they cut Brett Maher because he was missing so many, and he was still one of the highest scoring kickers in fantasy. So I figured, hey, Rams are getting a lot of opportunities to kick. I'm just gonna pick up the new guy they got. I don't even know how do you say his name. Havrasik, Lucas Havrasik or something like that. Right now they're projecting him for basically nothing. So Yahoo's the kind of guy to get with it. That'll give me a little boost after that. But man, my quarterback position is so weak without Justin Fields. I need him back. But my wide receiver position's not weak. I'm gonna say it every week, guys. I think it's Tyreek Hill, it's Puka, it's Kupp, it's Devontae. That's insane. I'm still rolling out probably both of the Indianapolis running backs. Darrell Henderson's on the team now, and I like that. On Ryan Murphy's side, ooh, he has to play Desmond Ridder. That's not pretty. That can't be his normal starter. Who's he typically have? He has Purdy, who we just found out earlier today has a concussion, apparently. That flew right over their heads, apparently. Didn't know that until, either you didn't know it till today or news didn't come out till today. But he's starting Ridder at quarterback. He's had his moments, but it's not great. He has A.J. Brown, he has Pittman, he has Godwin, who has been missing a little bit of practice time this week. Got to keep an eye on that. Jamar Chase is back, so his wide receiver core overall pretty strong, especially behind A.J. Brown and Chase. Josh Jacobs and Gibbs, I like Gibbs, man. As long as Montgomery's out, and I think he's going to be again this week, Gibbs looks like he's a lock. And he has Darren Waller at tight end, who just had a big game. Najee Harris and Curtis Samuel are both guys that you're kind of just crossing your fingers they get you points. As always, not making a projection for my matchup. You guys can do that yourselves. Next matchup is, 2 other roommates here. I think you guys are still roommates, right? You still live together, right? I don't know. Discount double check downs DV at 1-6 versus Cousins. My Chubb Cordell is 5-2. The projection's currently in the favor of the 8th place team. 226 to 217. Of course, I don't know how I don't know if you guys are really, mess with your waivers and put your new guys in. I don't know. Whatever. Quarterback position, Hurts and Stroud versus Cousins and Burrow. That feels relatively even to me, right? I feel like Burrow, like Hurts and Burrow, like they're close, but Hurts a bit more than it's the other way around. I'd say Cousins and Stroud very close. So don't really have a big favorite there at quarterback. Wide receiver, how we looking here? Ooh, DV has a few number 2 receivers with Waddle and Devontae Smith, and I feel like both those guys have kind of been a little disappointing overall. I mean, Waddle was okay this last week, but Devonta Smith seems to be a pretty big disappointment. On the other side, Diggs, Olave, London, Myers. I like that. I give the advantage to Cordell on that one. Ooh, and as always, DV has McCaffrey, and he went into the game with an oblique and rib injury. Didn't know if he was going to play, and I think he got 100% of the snaps, so that's fun. And let me see, you got Kirk. It looks like he took Ridley out of his lineup for Cordell. Smart move, taking Ridley out, because that man is too inconsistent. I'm giving the edge to. I hate giving the edge to the guy at 1-6, but I'm just gonna give it to DV, and I'm not gonna elaborate on that. I'm just gonna move on. Next matchup is a bit of a close projection here, 229 to 220 for Bijan Mostert, Josh's team over Easy Breecey, Derek's team. We got a 3-4 Derek and a 4-3 Josh. So that's a pretty decent matchup there. Derek's going to have the quarterback advantage in every game he plays, unless his players are on bye. Besides that, it's got Mahomes and Allen. Josh has Lamar Jackson and Herbert. That's not bad too, but you can't beat Derek's quarterbacks. You just can't. Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers, George Pickens, DeAndre Hopkins on Derek's side. I'm not crazy about Hopkins, especially with Bananarama. Mr. I like to eat my bananas with the peel and put mayonnaise in my coffee. Will Levis in there, but I guess we'll see. George Pickens, George's been good. I said a few times I don't know if I trust him for fantasy, but he's been good. I like him. Gabe Davis on Josh's side. Gabe Davis has been so streaky. That 4-game touchdown streak just ruined by 2 games of absolutely nothing. But it does have Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. Thank you very much. Bijan, is Bijan going to play? What happened there? I get it. They said he wasn't feeling so well. He had a headache since Saturday. So why wasn't it reported before the game, huh? That seems a little iffy. But, if he plays, he's still Bijan. Raheem Mostert's a little dinged up, but I think he'll be okay. He's got Derrick Henry, too. I really like the running backs on Josh's side as long as they're all healthy and playing. I also like his tight end, Goddard, over Kittle for Derrick. I'm giving this one to Bijan Mostert. Sorry, Derek. I'm giving it to Josh. I know what his team is capable of, and I'm leaning towards him. The last matchup, I'm 12. And what is this? Mr. Scott 2-5 versus Deshaun. Don't touch down there. That is Jake Mowry. Is he still in first place points scored? Yes, it looks like he is still in first place for points scored. And Mr. Jake Mowry projected to win 229 to 188 as it stands right now. So a big bully projection there. Not much you can say with a projection that big. Scott's team is kind of falling apart on him a bit. I don't know if that's mostly injury related. Looking at his bench, he still has a few guys on his bench he's probably going to toss in there, like Thielen, Lamb, and Mixon. So that's going to give him a big boost there. Montgomery is out for Scott, so that's someone he's going to be looking to get back at some point pretty soon here. Jake has Deshaun Watson on his bench. Jake's team is tough, man. He's got Amon-Ra. He's got Jordan Addison, who's the current wide receiver 1 from Minnesota. Rashee Rice, man. I like Rashee Rice. I think he's going to break out in the second half. Etienne, Kamara, and Pollard. That's such a solid running back core. That might be the best one in the entire league, personally, I think. He's got Kelsey at tight end. As we know, you ain't beating Kelsey at tight end. Currently, Scott has Trevor Lawrence and Matt Stafford in there. He also has Dak on his bench if he wants to throw him in there. Ayuk, Metcalf, Deontay, and Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale's probably going to get replaced by CeeDee Lamb. I'm sure one of these other guys is going to get replaced by Adam Thielen. Mixon will probably hop in there to replace Jerick McKinnon, maybe, I'd assume. So his projection is going to take a massive jump once he gets his roster actually loaded up here, ready to go. But I'm still going to give the advantage to Jake here. I'm going to make my projection for Jake because he has the most overall points. All I can base it off of is what I can see right here, and I see a giant projection gap. I know it's going to change, but for now, giving it to Mr. Jake. But let's move on to the next segment. Since I said we have no extra segment today, I'm sorry, guys. I have no time for any of this shit. We're going on to awards.
Football.
Drum up that fancy music that I found online for free for the award for best transaction. I hate to give it to myself, but I'm giving it to myself because I scooped up Darrell Henderson at the buzzer right before his game started. I believe his game was 4:05. I got him at 4 o'clock after they had announced that he was going to be the starter. He got the bulk of the running back snaps and touches for the Rams. I expect that to continue until Kyren is back. Weekly MVP. So it was too easy to give it to Mahomes or Jackson, so I'm giving it instead to Jordan Addison. And the main reason is because, as we said before, Jake needed Addison to show up, have a big game, and that's exactly what he did. He brought Jake back and took me down with 7 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dude popped off. Weekly dud, Mr. Bijan My Head Hurts Robinson on Josh's team. Now, I didn't know how I felt about this one because it was injury related, and I never want to put an injury related option in weekly dud, but he was still active for the whole game, and we didn't know he was hurt. They just played him anyway. So the way I see it, that's a dud. 1 carry on the game, just no indication he wasn't ready. I don't know. Biggest blowout. This was easy. This was quite easy to give this award out. That was Derek over Scott by 116.06 points. I'm not going to check if that's the highest gap so far in the season. I'm just going to say it is. Biggest upset award is Jake over yours truly, me. I'm giving it to him because I believe there were 2 underdogs that won this week. Leaning towards him because, I'm the number 1 seed team. He pulled it off. He was projected to lose all day, came back at the end and took it. So, good job, Jake. Worst injury award. This one is kind of tough because there weren't really, unless I'm forgetting anything, there wasn't really any injuries that happened early that really sank anyone. So I'm just going to give it to Jerome Ford here because he's a guy you could rely on up till now, and he's probably going to miss a few games now. Going to do a quick look at the standings.
Football.
For the standings, I lost the game and I'm still in first place at 5-2, 1632 points. Also at 5-2 is Cordell. Cousins Digg my Chubb, nipping at my heels, but about 90 points behind me, it looks like. So he's gonna have to beat me in record to jump me, probably, most likely. We have 3 4-3 teams. Deshaun, don't touch down there. Jake Mauve with the most overall points. Bijan Mostert. Josh, 1632 points. That puts him just barely behind me. Gets him 3rd overall points total right now. Tuafinity and Bijan also at 4-3. That's Ryan Murphy's team. We have Easy Breecey trying to make a comeback here a little bit. 3-4, not too bad. I'm 12, and what is this? 2-5. I'm sorry, Scott. I know your team's been looking a little bit rough, but I still think you can come back here, keep working on it. And last place still, again. I can't wait to get DV on the show and talk about this. Discount double check downs, DV at 1-6. And that's gonna wrap it up, boys. I'm gonna get to editing this shit, and I don't even know if I'm gonna fucking get it done tonight. Probably not, but I guess we'll find out. And I'll see you next week. I nipped it. I got the camera a little bit. We're gonna count that one.